Hi everyone, welcome to this hints and tips tutorial. In this one I'm going to help you self-critique at those times when you need a pair of extra eyes that might not be around physically, but you can use this tool. So I've shown you before how to use a photo editor like this. This is Funky, which is a free online editor. I've shown you how to use this doing something called Spot the Difference, where you may create a collage here of your reference photo alongside your work in progress picture, flick your eyes back and forth, and you do literally spot the difference. Just want to show you a different way of doing this. Now you can have your collage made just like it's showing here, and all you're going to do is use this as your base layer. So we're going to have our reference image down as our, it's not a reference image, we're going to have our reference image laid over the top. So what we've got is our base image, which is our work in progress picture on the left hand side. So focus on that. Now come up to your image manager and you can load in your reference image and your work in progress picture. This is all going to make sense in a minute what we're doing. So we're going to click on our reference image and open it as a layer. Now this will then sit anywhere on top of the base image. So the base image in this case is going to be our work in progress photo on the left hand side, and we are laying our layer of a reference photo over the top. So come into image properties for that layer and start to play with the opacity. This is what it's all about. So now that you can see what we're doing, in a minute you'll understand why we're doing it. And you can do this in any order. You can have your reference photo as your base image on the lower level, and then open up the work in progress picture as your layer over the top. But in this case we're doing it the opposite way around. We've got a work in progress picture down on that left hand side in the collage, and we're opening up our reference photo as a layer. And what we're going to do here is we're adjusting it to get it to the right size, and then getting it in the right place over the top of our work in progress. Now I know that with this image, and again a big thank you to my student who's allowed me to use these images for this demo purpose. When she watched this video, or the video I did for her, she just said it was groundbreaking for her, and I was more than okay to share it with others if it helps them to understand and to utilize this tool. So I know that the eyes and the nose are in correct proportion on this drawing, on the work in progress drawing. So I'm trying to adjust this layer to get the eyes laid over the top and the nose and get it all to the same size. So it just took me a little while there to get that all together. Once I am happy with the placement of that layer, the top layer of the reference photo, now you can start to see when I come into the adjustment again, the opacity, and it might be called something like transparency in a different program. It's called opacity here. But look there on the right hand side, you can instantly straight away see where the work in progress drawing doesn't quite match the reference photo with proportions. So if you flick this up and down, look at this right hand side. So the ear is spilling out on the right hand side, as well as the right hand side of that neck. It's just been taken a tiny bit too wider than the reference photo in the drawing itself. Can you see that? It's about an inch or so wider. Now come up here to this ear, and again you can just see underneath as you adjust this up and down where the drawing has taken that ear a tiny bit too wide, brought it down too straight. Now you'll see on the reference the ear dips in a little bit on that left hand side, about halfway up. Now that's been lost in the actual drawing itself, so we need to pull that back in. Again here I would have been just pointing out to my student about the shapes, the shadows, what to put where. So keep adjusting that opacity or the transparency, and it will really help you to, things will just jump out at you that you can't see or to the naked eye, or if you haven't got a trusted friend to hand to say, what's wrong with this, something's not quite right, can you help me, can you show me. So up and down, see, just a tiny little bit, that's all it is. Okay, so this, let's say, keep adjusting that opacity. You can see here where I'm just picking up again on that dip in the ear. I'm going to show you a little method in a minute as well where this will all become even more obvious. And it's just one of those things that I just find, well, you know, like I say, my students found this groundbreaking to be able to visualize and see her work in progress up against the reference photo like this. So I really, really hope that it makes a difference to you guys as well. So again, up and down with that opacity. If you go up and down quite quickly and just keep your eyes fixed on, you know, one area, so the ear on the right hand side or that tongue, look at that line around the tongue there. You can see where the work in progress has just spilled out and made the tongue too big. That dark shadow portion there underneath the chest, that would be the area that I'd say, you know, work on that next and see. You can see your tonal values here as well. It's a good way of doing that. And again, I'm going to show you a little method in a second where that will show itself even more. Again, up and down with that intensity, the opacity, the transparency. Looking at ear again there on the right hand side. As soon as you lift this up, you can see where that shape actually should be. There's so much right with this drawing though, the placement, the eyes, the nose, the fur direction. It's just a tiny couple of places where it's spilled out over the edges and it just needs tightening back up. And at this point, with the work in progress being quite early on in the stages, it was more than possible to do those changes as well, which is the great thing. So again, just looking at that ear again on the right hand side, just pointing out a couple more of those little areas there. I would have been, you know, just showing, you know, the directions where everything is correct as well, where the adjustments are needed. And like I say, you see the lines, everything's in the right position. So here I would have just been saying, you know, about just putting in a couple of extra little bits of the shadow shapes as well. Remember to look at that the bigger shapes video that I've done as well, how to simplify your reference photos. All of these things tie in together using your collage maker, your spot the difference videos, side-by-side comparisons, using your photo editor to adjust your photos, the contrast, beautifying the colours. All of it really helps, and this is just another little addition to that toolbox, the little army of things that you can use. Okay. Just again up and down with the opacity or the transparency, just to really throw those differences up. Okay, so you can just see here, I'm just adjusting that opacity up and down. There is something else I want to show you, so I'm just going to move that layer off to right hand side there. Now there's a way, if you can convert your drawing now, in theory, your reference photo and your work in progress should be a similar colour because obviously you're depicting the reference photo. So what we're going to do is just come over here to the editor, come over to exposure first of all, and we're going to adjust our contrast. Put the contrast right up. Don't worry about what the reference photo looks like there. We're just looking at the work in progress picture. You can make other adjustments there if you like, but for this demo, I'm just going to whack the adjustment up on the contrast, and it really makes that lights and the darks pop out. I'm also going to go down to the colour mixer and just turn that base image into black and white. Okay, so back now to your image manager and pull that layer, your top layer, your reference photo, back over your work in progress. Your work in progress picture is now black and white and the contrast is whacked right up. It makes it stand out a little bit clearer underneath. If you're using your line drawing over the top of your work in progress, it would stand out even more. And like I said, I will demo that. So I've dragged this layer now back over the top. And now when we come in, because the base layer, the work in progress, is in black and white, and the contrast is up, so it's darker and lighter in places, we can see it a lot clearer. So if I move our color reference image layer over the top and up and down that opacity button, you can see all those points I pointed out to you, all those areas I pointed out to you previously, they stand out a lot more now. So I just wanted to show you this quickly. So that right hand side ear now, it really stands out, that dark bit that's sticking out there. Also, all of the little shapes, where the shadows need to be, everything stands out. The little shape of that ear, the width of the right hand side, and also the shape around that tongue. It's just a lot clearer if we get that base image turned to black and white, or even a different color. You can change it to blue, anything that's not matching your reference photo, so that the two, you know, there's a real distinguished difference between the two of them. So I hope that makes sense to you. So you can, like I say, you can do this any way that you want to. You can lay your line drawing over your work in progress. You can lay your work in progress over your reference photo, and in this case we laid the reference photo over the top of our work in progress image. It all works the same. It's what works for you, but do try it. And I say, if you're in a room and you're getting frustrated because you've got your blinkers on, you can't see that what is wrong, even though you know something is wrong, remember this. It takes 2 or 3 minutes to do, and it will save you hours of frustration. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one there. I hope it's helped. A big thank you again to my student for allowing us to use her work in progress photo, and of course this reference photo. If you've enjoyed and learned something today, please don't forget to hit that little subscribe button down on the right hand side. It only takes a second. It really helps my viewing figures, and I appreciate it so much. So thank you very much for watching, and tune in again soon. And of course, if you want early access to all of these hints and tips videos, don't forget to join me on my Patreon or my teaching channel. Thank you, and speak to you again soon.